Find me as a jester every now and then.
Good morning, everyone. I mean, it's morning where we're at right now before the Strawbridge Open. And we're joined today by, I'll let you introduce yourself here, by a special guest, Captain Mortgage.
That's me, man. Captain Mortgage, Creagan Berry.
And today we're really going to dig into his story and also with Chicho's and how that kind of comes together. So this will be a little fun one we do here today. But before we get into the meat of everything, what's been on your guys' mind lately? I know Ed's got a little...
Just surviving back pain right now. That's it.
Yeah. Yep.
That's all I've been on my mind today.
Yeah. Oh, what was that? Oh, yeah, get the water here before. And how does... do we need to adjust Ed's mic a bit, or we're good to go?
Talk, brother.
I sound fine, don't I?
Okay.
Yeah.
All right, cool. All right, well, so to get into it pretty easily, I mean, I want to see what's also been on your mind, Dad, and Cree. What's been on your mind?
We've
Go ahead,
had,
Creagan.
We've had a break from these, huh?
You know, what's
Yeah.
been on my mind, I mean, it's I'm glad to see this weather break more than anything. You know, I like to be on the water. I'm a big boater, too, part of Freedom Boat Club. So, you know.
Way to dig that in there.
Well, you know,
I mean, I discussed this like a week ago.
Well, you know, Freedom Boat Club is great. You know, I'll give them a little plug because I love them and love their owner. You know, it's a cool thing. You don't have to own the boat. You just own the water. You know, that's their saying, hassle free. Hop on the boat, drive it like you stole it, and then you know, they fill it up with gas and everything too.
Oh, that's cool.
It's pretty easy. But yeah, just happy for the hot weather coming, man. I
Yeah.
hate cold weather personally. It's,
Yeah, we're
Yeah.
in March right now as we're filming this. So we're getting out of the cold, but I mean, it's been like, the weather's been on and off. Like, I think it was like 30 degrees like a few days ago, and then now it's like 50, but yeah.
Yeah, I'm what's been on my mind. We just got back from a convention last week.
Successful convention.
You know,
Was it
I've always-
successful?
was it successful? Well, and that's mine. It probably wasn't. But if you can learn anything, of maybe one thing from any trip, convention, that I think there's a little bit of value.
Mm-hmm.
We learned we need to go to a different convention.
Yeah. So there was some takeaway from that, but just getting back from that and just looking forward to kind of planning out the rest of the year, as the first quarter is coming to an end and at the end of this month. But just my mindset's all about growth and strategic planning right now.
All right, cool.
Very important. I always say, if you go to a convention, what's your nuggets? What's your three things? What did you learn, and what are you going to implement in the next 90 days, 180 days, and
Yep.
then the next year? Super important.
Sweet, man. I mean, that's I think a good segue into what the topic is today with entrepreneurship and like just learning in general. I mean, I wanted to dig into your story, Captain Mortgage, and I'm also curious, where did that name come from?
So, it's funny, and I'm going to circle back and mention it again because it's really where it came from with Freedom Boat Club, because I was promoting the boat club and all the things, and because honestly, if you sign up and you mention my name, I get a free month. That's how it works, right?
Yeah, that's right. He wanted to do the intro
Yeah.
for me then. Huh?
But either way, so I've been promoting the heck out of this boat club, man. I was very new in the mortgage industry, and I told my buddy in the office, I'm like, I'm getting all these calls about the boat club. Literally, it's like I'm a salesman for the boat club. And I was like, I need to figure out how to turn this into mortgages. And we just sat there and talked for, I don't know, probably 20 minutes. And he just out of nowhere said, Captain Mortgage. I'm like, that's actually pretty genius. And so I literally asked like 10 people over the next couple of days, what do y'all think? Everybody, 10 out of 10 were like, that's a really great name. So at that point, I just started branding myself that. And that's the biggest part of any industry, whether it's restaurants or my industry, real estate, or you name it. Branding is number one. Branding is number one. That's how people, it's name recognition. I have a good friend of mine that owns a very small car dealership, and he was talking about, he said, going through hard times. I said, just brand yourself, man. I'll shoot the videos for you. And because you don't want to be on camera. but that's a big part of what I've learned through business and entrepreneurship is branding. The conference I went to in Vegas back in July, I mean, we had that conference. We've had like guys like Ed Milet. Most recently had Alex Hormozy and Gary Vee spoke at this conference. I mean, it was 1,000 mortgage bankers and real estate agents from across the nation, and to see Gary Vee on stage and Alex Hormozy and a couple other great entrepreneurs.
Yeah.
Like one lady, she's been on Shark Tank recently. Forgive me, I can't remember her name, but she was real big into makeup. But all of them talked about brand and what their brand is. So if you can create a brand for your business, it's really going to set you apart from everybody else that does the same exact thing that you do.
Yeah, that makes sense. And I think that's something we've been really trying to get on this year, which is funny. I think Ed and Lou could really hop into this one, at least for branding.
We try to brand ourselves as the jack of, the Swiss Army knife of restaurants. We want to be every goddamn thing.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, cause
Not just pizza, right? Not with that.
More than pizza.
Yeah, more than pizza.
Yeah, because I think, I dug into your LinkedIn profile too, and I know you focus a lot on military and veteran niches, but how important do you think is like to, I guess, focus on like a certain audience versus, I guess, like trying to be the Swiss Army knife, as you're saying?
Yeah. They always say it's hard to hit all the wickets, hit everything, but just to focus on one thing. And I'm a big proponent of do what you feel is right and do what you feel is going to really make your brand and help you get business, right? The most recently, as you may know, in the real estate industry, it's been very slow for a lot of people. So we have to get creative and try and find creative buyers and things like that. So we're in a military town. We all know we can do military loans. They're actually the easiest loan possible, to be honest with you. My 16-year-old can pretty much originate a loan at this point because he hears about it all the time. So that being said, they're not terribly difficult loans, but we also try to do the self-employed loans. We try to do the investor loans, the DSCR loans, and things of that sort. And even I-10 loans. There's a lot of different types of non-conventional. They're called non-QM loans, and they can really separate yourself from just saying, "Oh, I'm a great VA bar or a VA lender."
Gotcha. All right. Yeah, because I know. Ed and Louie, I don't know if you want to hop into kind of your real estate expertise with.
I guess it's just really about what we want to, advertise. Because, you don't focus on one thing, and there's a lot, I guess, that you just laid out there. And we kind of have the same thing. We pick 4 avenues or revenue streams that we like to kind of bucket everything into. And then it's, for locations, we pick which one we need to target, I guess, the most. So it's still, I guess, the same idea. Because he's not going to turn away money from anywhere else. He's just, maybe he's, marketing towards the military and all that right now, but he wants all the other ones too. So I think most people in business are the same way. You got to kind of pick your niche, but you want everything.
Yeah, you want the whole pie. What's your 2 cents on this, Dad? What do you think?
The sentiments are exactly the same. You don't want to turn down business, until you get to a point where I guess you get big enough that you become into that special niche of a market or a demographic that you want to hone in on. But until you really get to that point, like any small business owner, you want all the business you can take.
Yeah.
And that's sometimes, I guess that's a struggle for us because we want to be the Swiss Army knife of the hospitality industry, and sometimes it works for us, and sometimes it doesn't work for us.
We get a little lost in our identity here and there. So.
Yeah.
So I'm curious, Captain Mortgage, what's been your impression of Chicho's, like, since the beginning? Like, when you first found Chicho's, and then how's it changed for you over the years?
That's a loaded question in a sense. My first memory of Chicho's, honestly, is I'm sure like a lot of guys and ladies out there, was on the block at the oceanfront, 21 years old. I just can remember this. I don't know why it's so vivid in my mind, but I was very young, 21, 22, and I was on the block drinking or whatever. I remember coming out of Chicho's and grabbing a slice out the window, right? And I'm like, damn, this pizza's fucking spicy. That's the honest truth. I said, man, this is such a spicy pizza. And but I was, obviously I've been drinking a little bit, so I just ate it, right? And obviously over the years your palate changes, and I'll crush some Chicho's pizza at this point, and it's not even spicy to me anymore. But yeah, it's just that's my first memory of Chicho's, and then fast forward many years later, obviously I've created a great relationship with these guys and Potter and Rob too. So I love Chicho's. Obviously, you all know that. People know that. I post about it all the time. But it's it's one of those things. If I have a friend's business and I love it, I'm gonna promote it. I don't get any money back or kickback or whatever. I'm promoting my friend's business because I know that I've got a very small local platform, and if I can help my friends get more business, then I'm all about it because I know that they'll hopefully reciprocate too.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's interesting when you see customers or people that have been regulars with the Chicho's brand, and then when they get into the world of business and become entrepreneurs or small business owners, that we can collaborate with each other and support local businesses. Because I think it's a win-win. The customers. Him starting and being a customer, he knows our product, he knows our brand, and trying to support him when he's going on his own. Because it is tough when you're, an entrepreneur and you first start off. I mean, it's a lonely road. You come with all kinds of obstacles, I'm sure you can, speak with, when you start your own business. But, when you see people make that entrepreneurial leap, it's good to see, and you always want to have, wish them the best success.
Yeah.
So,
I mean, I think you guys are similar age. I mean,
I'm turning 47. When do you turn?
Yeah, I'm 41.
oh shoot,
young.
my bad.
Young.
I thought you were younger. Ed, that's why.
Just look that great, huh?
Yeah, that's why.
Yeah. Speaking of which, another great memory with Chicho's is I've thrown my birthday party there a handful of times here recently, including my 40th birthday. My birthday's at the end of August, so it's usually pretty hot.
Yeah.
But people were sweating, but it was a great time. I know my first birthday party I ever had at Chicho's a couple years ago. Randomly, Derek, rest in peace, Derek was out there doing his reggae thing and on a guitar, and I was having a good time. It was just such an amazing island style vibe. It was literally perfect. It's like the way the world works, right? The Lord works in mysterious ways, and he was out there playing, and we had a great vibe, and everything was super cool. And other times we've had, my good buddy Jules Gadd out there DJing for my birthday, and super great, super fun. Always keeping the vibe going, and I think I've done at least probably 3 birthdays at Chicho's and here recently, and I love it because it's at the end of the day, who doesn't like pizza, right? And it's not crazy expensive. If we were to go to any other restaurant and try and do a birthday party for, I don't know, 75 people, God only knows what it's going to cost for me to put out some apps and some food and stuff like that. So that's another part of it too. Is in my head it's reasonably priced, and obviously drinks are reasonably priced too. So it's a double-edged sword, and my friends love it. They already know what to expect. So
I know all Louie heard right there is, man, we should raise our prices. That's all he heard over there.
No, I'm trying. He's sitting there, Creagan speaking, and I'm trying to remember, our first meeting on how I met you, and in relation to how where you're at today, and how you came through Chicho's, but. I'm probably like a decade and a half older than Creagan, but I do recall him showing up at a networking event or
just so you know, Louie's going to murder your name quite a bit too.
No, it's fine.
I don't know where it was. All I remember
accent,
is that I think it was either you or Xerxes were at a networking event or a gala or a dinner party or something.
It was with
Fundraising
Jake.
event.
It was for
Oh,
Jake, right?
was it a scholarship
That's what you're
dinner?
talking about? The thing with Jake?
No, that was before that.
Oh,
Okay.
even before. Oh.
I think that was before that. I think I just noticed him because he was
Foot
hustling.
taller than everybody?
Yeah, he was hustling and just going out there and networking, and in his 20s, and I'm like, okay, this guy's
Dang, so 20
he's
years
hustling.
ago.
And then it hit me on who he was when you and
Xerxes
when I put
came.
you and Xerxes together.
Yes.
Yeah.
So that's when I was like, oh, okay, I remember him.
Jeez.
And so and then seeing him, start his own company, and continue to support our brand, and seeing him do well. I mean, it's a. I guess it was a good feeling to see that,
Yeah.
So
That's awesome.
That's what I remember. I just can't pinpoint the exact.
Man, I couldn't
event.
tell you. I
just went
definitely
to so
remember
many.
with Jake and all that, but
Yeah.
I don't remember.
Because you probably went to a
There's no telling.
handful of networking events
Man,
back in your 20s.
In the last 30 days, I've probably gone to probably 5 or 6. I was supposed to go to
Holy
one
shit,
last
yeah.
night, but it was the rain and all that. I was like, man, I'll just stay and work. But
Yeah.
I hit multiple networking events a week. I also
Yeah.
host my own networking events for different things, and that's obviously another thing that Chicho's is great for. Chicho's Town Center is super centrally located. I love doing events there, as well as other local businesses.
Yeah.
Whether it be union or insert whatever business that I'm lucky enough to be able to throw events at, and parking is always important. Now that I'm thinking about it, ironically, I actually I'm on the committee for my reunion for my high school, And our 20-year reunion, we did it backstage in Norfolk, because I'm a Norfolk guy. So, you know, we all went to Granby. And we did our 20-year reunion at backstage,
That's cool.
which was great because, you know, we had all the food and all the things. And I know that my people, and I love my people that I went to high school with, but they're cheap asses, right? Everybody's so cheap. Everyone wants me to so damn cheap. But we're trying to cover something, right? And here's a key to throwing events, especially big events like that. And even, as you know, with the Chicho's golf tournament, the key is you don't make money off the entry fee for events. Just like we didn't make money for the entry fee. I literally charged these people $10 to come to this event. We paid for the DJ, we paid for all the food, and then y'all were nice enough to let us host the place, host it at your event, or at your event space at Chicho's with Rory, and literally paid $10 per person, and they got 2 drink tickets to buy whatever basically, you know, call or below that they wanted. And it's like, I'm like literally paying y'all to come to this. But the key was we had some event sponsors like Xerxes, myself, Frank Dalmeda, Jessica Drake, you know, these people, they all threw in a couple of dollars. I think we ended up raising, you know, $1,500 or close to $2,000 in event sponsorships. Nice. So literally to the point to where I ended up giving back Xerxes $200 of his event sponsorship. Like, here you go, brother. Like, thank you, you know, because we actually had this overage. I'm not here to make money off my high school reunion like that, but that was just such a great event to have there with the DJ and all the things. So it was fun, man.
Yeah, we need to get on our Kellum reunion. I have my friend here, Lucas, from high school too, helping me out. Yeah. And I don't know, it's just.
I got my 30 next year.
Oh,
that
geez.
sounds awful to say.
But yeah, event planning is like, people don't. I mean, if you've never planned an event, people don't realize how much work you have to put in to like make sure like everything kind of runs smoothly. People are happy. People aren't irritated that they put $10 just to get in. And like, you know, it's a balance, a delicate balance, I think.
Got to show value in everything you do.
Yeah, it's a bit of a mental game. I'm sitting here thinking about all the events you've hosted, and it seems like, man, you're getting a great deal. We're also, in my head, I'm like, man, we're probably taking advantage of you two just for more business. So we're using each other. We're like, yeah, sure, I'll hook you up because everybody else is going to spend money anyway.
It's a great symbiotic relationship that I have with you all. You all already know that, you know. I mean, I was at the rodeo the other day, and I took a picture and sent it to Potter, like with the Chichos, with the guy literally falling off the damn bull at Chartway.
with our logo in the background?
With the pizza.
Oh, the
guy falling off the damn bull was blurred. I make sure I hit the Chichos thing and then tagged it on Insta and all the things, and because it's great, y'all.
I might need that clip to put it in the video.
It's cool. I'll send it to you. It's actually kind of cool. You got to kind of look close to see the guy falling off the bull, but yeah, it's cool.
A thing I wanted to dig into, I think we vaguely kind of touched on it, was like how you hustled in your 20s. Being into my 20s myself, and I think we have a decent amount of our audience that watched in their 20s. Like, what was the one thing, or maybe a few things, that really helped you get, I guess, to where you are now, being in your 40s, 20 years later? What was like the main foundational things you did in your 20s that helped you?
I think number one is my sphere, the relationships that I've built through the years. That's quite honestly number one, because without my relationships and without the sphere that I have, I mean, I grew up here. Here in Norfolk and Ocean View. I'm born and raised in Ocean View. I've got friends of mine that I went to elementary school with. Literally, I can call at least 4 people right now, and they would most likely pick up that I went to kindergarten with. I mean, how many people do you really know that they can say that? I'm very blessed to have friends and associates for that long into my high school years. We've been friends for over 20 years. So I think your relationships that you build is number one at a young age, because even though something may not pay off right now, it can pay tenfold in years to come. And the biggest thing is, I know that these two guys believe it a lot. I posted this recently, and I'm sure y'all have seen it. It's a cliche saying, but it's your net worth is your network, or your network is your net worth. You know, they're interchangeable. It's so true. Your network is your net worth, because who you surround yourself with is really going to escalate you to the next level. And they always say, you know, you're only one conversation or one meeting away from becoming a millionaire, because you never know who you're going to meet.
Yeah. You guys want to chime in?
I think we touched on it before. They're like, I mean, he's not wrong on all that stuff, but I don't think in my 20s I was thinking about that stuff. I was just having fun doing what I was doing and just kind of trying to figure out where I was going with it, and it just kind of panned out. But yeah, he's not wrong about the people. You know, I mean, Louie and I, we started this together when I was, 20. and here we are, 27 years later. But there's a handful of people that I can still think of that were around back then. But like for me, I mean, we said this before. It was just based out of necessity and having a good time doing what I was doing. We just didn't have a choice. I was 25 when I opened my first place, and then it was like I can't fail. This is going all in here. So. Yeah. But he's not wrong. I mean, looking back now, he's right. I mean, just the people that just opens a lot more doors, and just sticking. I think being consistent with what you're doing goes a long way, because I mean, we've seen a lot of people bounce in and out of this business, and they restart all the time. They're just like, they don't want to put in the hard work, and they just keep restarting on where they're at in life, and it's just like, how are you ever going to get any traction? You just give up and restart over and over and over. Hopefully something sticks, but that's just, I guess, where I always look back at it too. It was just consistency and just getting everything done. That's it.
Yeah. How about you, Dad?
No, I mean, it's the same. I've always said that the 5 people you surround yourself or hang out with the most, that's what you're going to be, And so I've always been a proponent of, learning from others, having some mentors along the way. A lot of people that have actually lived the life that I wanted to live, being in small business owners or big business owners and starting their business. And, I speak about them all the time, but the Entrepreneurs Organization was a big stepping stone for me to elevate my, network, so to speak, because I'm surrounded by my peers.
Yeah.
And they kept me accountable and, kept me motivated and inspired to do more than what I'm doing, today.
Yeah.
And so,
yeah. I mean, I think a common theme I'm seeing is like the importance of consistency, of course, but the importance of community. Because I think maybe last year ago, maybe a little over a year ago, I remember feeling so lonely on like the entrepreneur's route and like not,
No, I mean, you're right, because I was lonely in my 20s.
Yeah.
I mean, because you can't, when you have your people the same age as you that are on a different professional track, it's hard to relate with them when you go to a party, you haven't seen them for a while, and then they're talking about stuff that you can't relate to, and vice versa. I mean,
just tell the same story, Lou, about the amount of crap we used to get from everybody when you went to school with. What are you still doing working in these bars? I'm like, what are you doing?
I mean, but
we all have a different path.
They don't understand payroll taxes. They don't understand all the pressures that come in running a small business, right? Yeah. And so, until I found that it used to be called Young Entrepreneurs Organization, YEO. And I think the requirements at that point, you had to do $1 million in revenue and be under 35. Okay. And so I got into it when I was, I guess, in my 31. I was just
when I was born.
Yeah, right when you were born, or somewhere around there. And then that was the first time that the loneliness went away, because then I found a community or a tribe or peers that were going through the same issues that I was going through, and being able to, share our experiences and see how we overcame certain failures or mistakes, and getting that guidance from everyone. It was a pivotal moment in my business career. Yeah. So going back to Creagan's point about relationships and the network and who you surround yourself, kind of really dictate your net worth. There's some practicality to that.
Yeah, because it's really comforting, like when you see other people that see the same things as you. Because I guess when I talk to some of my other peers, they're so in the weeds of their 9 to 5, and like they don't see what I see, or like they don't. I don't know if I'm.
No. You're on it. I mean, but at the end of the day, there's nothing wrong with their own pursuit and what they want to do, because that is what, one, that's what they want to do, or two, that's what their parents told them to do. Yeah. Fortunately that hopefully you're recognizing at a younger age that you don't have to fit into that box of the traditional ways that people have gone their professional career.
Yeah.
So
So I think a question I want to bring to all of you, I think, because I've been talking to a lot of my peers, and I think some of them have been feeling a little lost of like what they're trying to do. I mean, they're only in their like, I'm 24, so they're like 2 years out of college. Like, what would you tell them to help them get out of this like funk? You know, like they think that, I don't know, there's like people like, I was talking to a friend last night. He was just so like, the life in his eyes is kind of like, it's not there. And it's just hard to like show people like maybe to try like entrepreneurship, but I know it's not always for everyone.
It's not
So
for everyone.
It's definitely not. I'd say try everything young, man.
Yeah.
Make your mistakes young. Your life is kind of like a mutual fund or something, right? Where it's like, and when you're young, you can put it all in these high risk things, and it doesn't really matter that much because you're only playing with this much money. You don't want to take. You can take the risk young, and then if you break, if you open a business and it doesn't do well, and you end up closing the business, guess what, brother? Go start another business.
Yeah.
Figure out something else to do. I mean, and I wish Xerxes was here with us because he's very successful. He's a very successful guy. He's my best friend. We've been friends since kindergarten. But he's had a business that's failed, and I don't mean to call him out on his stuff, but, the thing is you got to break some eggs to make an omelet. That's what they always say, right? So it's one of those things where you can't always be successful in everything that you do unless you're like LeBron or something, and you're that guy. But, I digress, but it's one of those things where you just got to work really hard, put 100% in. If you're going to be an entrepreneur, just be ready. I always joke. People say, "Oh, I want to get in mortgages because they think we make so much money." I'm like, how good of a crier are you? Because our job's freaking hard, man.
Yeah.
It's a hard job because we're dealing with the biggest purchase of somebody's life.
Yeah.
We're dealing with somebody's finances or lack thereof,
Yeah.
a lot of the time. So it's difficult. So just like with them in entrepreneurship, I mean, how many employees do y'all have? I mean, honestly, like if you could put a number on it.
I think like we get up to close to 200 at certain times. Of the year.
200 people. Can you imagine herding 200 cats in the restaurant industry? I mean, that seems insane to me.
Yeah.
I've got friends of mine that are real estate brokers, and they've got real estate people around them, and it's quite honestly, it's like herding cats a lot of the times because cats want to go all these different directions, and it's hard to hone them all back in and have them all work for one prize. I always say every business is like a sports team. And I'm not the first person to say that. I just heard somebody else say it, and I'm going to say it again. It's like a sports team. You're the head coach. You're the head coach. Rob's the head coach. Potter's the head coach. You're all head coaches, but because you have to get people to buy in to what you want to do to be successful.
Mm-hmm. I mean, I agree with everything you said, but I kind of took a different mindset to it at first when you started asking that question. But I'm glad you brought the sports thing up because I've said that numerous times on here. I've treated everything like sports my whole life. But like going back to the specific of your question about the friends, like I this is going to sound funny, but I'm judging it in a different set of, a different lens. I'm looking at yourself.
Yeah.
Your father set you up very well in life to give you these opportunities to, go explore and figure out what you want to do. And I think it's different for every person. Like, I'm not going to say my parents didn't help me with things here or there, but I wasn't in the same shoes. It was like, go do something to survive. It was like, you have to find a way to make money to survive. There was no backup plan. There was nothing like that. So, yeah, I mean, we failed. We failed plenty of times, but just like Creagan said, it's jump right back on to the next thing. You had to keep going. And that was mine. Mine was more of a necessity. Mm-hmm. It's like, you just got to go do this. And, it's still like that as, in business. I mean, we hit roller coaster rides and, this train, roller coaster, whatever you want to call it, we go up and down. I mean, sometimes that down part, that losing, that failing, that's great because you learn. And I think we learned over the past, 12 to 18 months right now, like, okay, we won't do that again. That's just kind of where I was at with it. So to answer that question to them, you just jump into something. And I think I said this before, find something you're good at and you enjoy and just go for that first. Because don't get into something that you're going to, just feel like it's a job every day, and that's going to really hurt you. So,
that is a loaded question. And, people that are watching or listening to this, I mean, people may think that I'm like spoon-fed you and given you everything, but I would say I disagree with that because everything that I'm kind of, I guess, since you are my son, it's a little biased because I look at this 3 decades later as an opportunity to relive my 20s through you vicariously, because you have so much opportunity at your disposal where the world is today with technology. So I think it's twofold for me, right? The one advice I would say to a 20-year-old is to have patience, because you're at a point in your life where, one, if you have the fiscal responsibility of not living above your means, all you have is time, because most 20-year-olds don't have both. It's either time or money. And once you figure out what you like to do and what you enjoy to do, then you should put all your time into that. And then going back to Creagan's point of surrounding your network or creating a network of those people around the stuff that you like to do. And going back to like this was a necessity of survival where I had to knock on doors and say, would you sell me your restaurant and bar? Or, I mean, I was doing what you did with Cutco, knocking on all the doors. I mean, that's what we did. That was it. But with social media, you can send out tweets, send out DMs. You can reach so many more people in an 8-hour day than me walking on doors for 8 hours.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? And so I think there needs to be patience, and I think there needs to be, you know, some adult responsibilities, because if once you 20-year-olds put yourself in a financial position where you have to now have obligations, then you lose your freedom of time.
Your hands
right?
are a bit tied. Yeah.
And so sometimes they are so quick to rush out of the living out from the nest with your parents, which is fine, but just be, you know, accountable to the expenses that come with that. And, you know, and I don't know, I just keep going back to the word patience, because you guys see so much information through these platforms that all of a sudden you think it can happen like that. But at the end of the day, you got to put in the work. You know, you got to have that work ethic, and you really need to have that desire to hone in on a certain skill set that would, again, you know, take you to the next step.
Yeah.
For sure. Consistency is key. I mean, I'll say that till the day I die. Am I super consistent in everything I do? Hell no, I'm not. Could I do better at certain things? Absolutely. But it's the thing is, if you ever stop learning, then you're dead.
Yeah.
Because you always have to keep learning. He'll be 110 years old. He'll still learn something.
Yeah.
You know? And that's the thing is, it doesn't matter how successful that you think you are or other people's perception of you. You know, internally, you just, if you have the drive and the motivation to keep going forward and just work super hard and wake up every day, because there's good days and bad days. Here's a big thing. Whenever my friend's having a bad day, I said, look, man, it's okay to have a bad day. Just don't let that bad day turn to a bad week. It turns into a bad month, and now you're a couple months down the road and you're just Eeyore, you know, down in the dumps all the time. So, you know, consistency is key. Mindset is everything. You know, I always call it I reference Kobe and the Mamba mentality. That Mamba mentality is number one, man, because Kobe not one time in his professional life ever stepped on the floor and said, that guy's better than me. So we always say, you know, when we're in business or somebody tries to recruit us, like a mortgage company calls and says, you know, tries to recruit us, they say, we ask them, well, what are you good at? What are you the best at? And if they say, well, we do this okay, or we do this pretty good, no, dude, what are you the fucking best at? If you're not the best at something, then we're not on the right, we're not made for each other. So it's all about mindset. Perception is key. Social media has this false sense of reality now, because, you know, I say this because people see me out and they say, oh, Captain Mortgage, and I love it. I think it's great because I built the brand, right?
Yeah.
We built the brand because of social media.
Yeah.
I was Cova Biz Magazine's Social Media Person of the Year, the last Personality of the Year, last 2 years. I was Cova Biz Magazine's Business Person of the Year last year. There was 53 other people on that list, and I got gold for Business Person of the Year. The likes of what's the hotelier's name?
Bruce Thompson.
Bruce was on the list, bro.
Oh,
I can
yeah.
promise you one thing. Bruce Thompson is a way better businessman than I am. Straight up. However, I won the award, right? I won the award because I put forth a lot of damn effort. I called people. I was in people's DMs. I sent out email blasts multiple times to my sphere, my past clients, my realtor base, because I wanted to win, because I want to be the best. If you're not the best at something, then what are you doing?
Yeah.
It's all about the mindset and just keep going. And,
That's awesome.
just keep going, brother.
Thank you
Just keep
for
going.
that. That was awesome.
Even when you're having a bad day, just keep going. Just keep going.
But there's really never a bad day. I mean, that's why I hate that phrase.
It's good that he said it because sometimes you got to trick yourself though. You're having
Yeah,
a couple bad moments. It's pile up.
It's because all it is, and I go back to going to, I'll ride his coattails with the mindset because it's emotional regulation. Because as soon as you feel that bad moment coming, you think of something else to trigger it, right? And so, like when I get road rage, as soon as I get behind a slow driver, I automatically think of grandma. You're a grandma, because I'm like, that's my mom in front of me. So all of a sudden, I just start smiling and laughing, and then that bad moment goes away because I don't let it ruin my day because I just regulated that emotion.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
So it's really the mindset with emotional regulation because, a bad day when people use that is because that person lets it become a bad day. When you take that bad moment and let it impact everything else, and there's 24 hours in a day, and that's really on you.
I love that. We talked about the nuggets earlier. Like you go to this conference with your nuggets. Thank you, Louie.
Yeah.
That was my nugget for this today. That was my nugget
You're
because
basically telling me I'm sitting over here grimacing with my back pain. I'm like, okay, this is not going to be bad. But I'm like, this pain's all day though.
yeah, that's a good one, man. I'm gonna take that
Back
one.
pain
with
is a good caveat, though.
And that's just more experience
Yeah.
talking right
Yeah.
there because I'm a decade
Yeah.
and a half older than Creagan, and I've seen it and I've went through it, and so any nugget anyone can take away from any experience that I've had in the past, and that's great.
Awesome. Well, I think we're coming closer to the end of everything. But before we get into the last segment, I wanted to ask Creagan how you got into, I guess, the mortgage industry and I guess.
Yeah, no, that's a great
Yeah.
that's a great question. Just my quick personal bio. Grew up in Norfolk, grew up in Ocean View, born and raised. And if anybody that knows Ocean View, Virginia, it's a very tight knit community. We're all friends, we're all family. We got each other's back. But either way, so I graduated from Granby High School. And then I at the time I was working at the Painted Lady, which is an old restaurant. It's now gone. I worked there for 7 years. A total of 8 years in the restaurant industry, from 14 years old, bussing tables until bartending and driving a limo and doing all the things at Painted Lady until I was 22. Then I got a job as a merchant mariner, as an engineer with Military Sea Lift Command. Did that for 2 years, and then transitioned to Moran Towing, where we did all the Navy work. Pulled the Navy ships in and out. Did that for 8 years. So 10 years collectively as a merchant mariner, predominantly in engineering department. And then got the job at Norfolk Naval Shipyard and predominantly did nuclear compliance, naval nuclear propulsion compliance. And, when people say that, it's like, damn, that's crazy.
Yeah.
Well, slow is fast. It was a very slow-paced job. Slow is fast. And then I left that job and had the opportunity to get into mortgages. My wife is a mortgage banker. She brought me in and introduced me to the industry as a whole. She knew that I had a compliance background, but she knew that I also had a crazy extroverted personality. I call myself a super extrovert because I will talk to anybody and everything about whatever.
It's the opposite of me.
Yeah, well, I try to, there's different cues and different things that I've learned through the years with emotional intelligence is super important. And if you don't know anything about emotional intelligence, Google that shit because it literally will not just make you a better business owner or a better person at your workplace. It'll make you a better person at home too. Because if you can understand emotional intelligence, I'm hitting a tangent here. If you can understand emotional intelligence, then you literally will be at the next level because you can motivate people around you, whether they're your superior or somebody underneath you or your equal. But either way, so I got the job at the shipyard doing naval nuclear compliance and then transitioned to mortgages. And here I am 4 years later. My wife, she's amazing. She without her, I wouldn't be where I'm at, that is for sure. She's introduced me to different people and put me in rooms to be successful. And all glory to God for sure. But if it wasn't for her, I wouldn't be where I'm at. And my mom too, and my grandmother and my son. They're all motivators for sure. But I'm very blessed to be where I'm at today. for that.
Shout out to Courtney.
Yes.
Shout out. Yeah.
Great girl.
I mean, dang, I really wanted to get into more emotional intelligence now too.
Hey, that's a good one, man. Call me back next time. Call me back for
but,
another one. Emotional intelligence. That's a good topic.
Let everyone do their homework before we hop
sure.
on the next pod. But I think the last segment is weekly motivation and sources of inspiration. This is a segment we like to do, Creagan, in all our episodes. But here are the 3 points, 3 questions. 1 moment of goodness from the week, 1 thing you're looking forward to, and then 1 aim/dream you're working towards right now.
Okay. So the first one was weekly motivation.
Yeah, and then 1 moment of goodness, and then
One moment of goodness.
Yeah, it's
And
always
then
good just to
we'll go
start
through the
each,
line.
You
Yeah,
get each
we'll go
question
through
one
the
at a time
line.
because
Yeah,
it always
yeah.
makes us forget.
Yeah, so we're getting older, man. Not as sharp. No, I'm just kidding. Sharper than I ever could be. What my weekly, my thing that happened that was good this week. Well, I say in the last 7 days. I mean, last week I closed 3 loans last week.
Nice.
I'm very blessed to have great referral partners and people that are really here to support me. One thing that I am looking forward to, I think I'm hopping into the next one, is my son's taking the SAT on Saturday.
Oh, wow.
I'm super excited for him. He's worked really hard. I have in this study program, he doesn't go to Norfolk Academy, he goes to First Colonial, but at this study program at Norfolk Academy for SAT prep. And I asked him last night, I was like, do you feel like it was super beneficial? He's like, yeah, it was super beneficial going through that because it doesn't just teach him how to take the SAT, it's also test taking skills too, which I obviously, as you know, with your background, you understand how important being able to take a test is. So that's one thing that I'm definitely looking forward to. I'm excited for him to be able to go and do that. And then what was the other one, sir?
Oh,
Something you're working on.
1 aim/dream you're working towards.
One dream that I'm working on. So I'd say the biggest thing that I think I'm working on is internal with my business, actually. I'm really good at doing events. You mentioned how it's so difficult to throw different events. We've got it. Courtney and I have it so in tune now. If you called me tomorrow and said, hey, brother, what's tomorrow? Tomorrow's Thursday, Friday.
Yeah.
Tomorrow's Friday. If you call me tomorrow morning and you say, hey, I want to throw a party at Chicho's with 50 of my closest friends, like, yeah, no problem. Create a graphic on Canva and put a blast out to your friends on text message or Facebook message or Instagram message or whatever. And, people will come, right?
Boom.
It's not really as hard as people think it is. It's just because we've done so many of them. So I don't know. That's really the biggest thing I think that I'm working on. I feel like I'm rambling a little bit, but
no, that's good.
I think
It's
the
good
biggest thing
ramble.
that I'm working on, genuinely, like I said, I'm good at throwing events and doing all these things. It's the fucking follow-up. The follow-up is so key when it comes to hosting events and everything that you do and your CRM, your customer relationship manager, to keep everything in tune. It's super important to hit the follow-up, and that is my 2025 goal, is to implement and execute my follow-up post-event, because I've got so much people's data and I don't do the follow-up as good as I could. I've got these people that came to my class that I've promoted, and I don't do 1 or 2 follow-ups after. That's ridiculous.
Yeah.
My coach literally, if he wasn't in Cali, he would slap my hand every time I have an event and I haven't really reached out. So that's really the biggest thing is follow-up. One thing that y'all do well, if I spend money here, obviously it's in your system. I get an email like, how was your experience at Chicho's? That goes a long way. Just one little follow-up goes a long way. So that's my biggest, my 3. I think I hit
All
it.
right, sweet. Nice.
Mine are all going to be personal this week. After
All
we
right,
just
yeah.
went business tangent there, I'm like, geez,
Yeah.
these are all just about my personal life. So good for the week. I got to spend some time with some friends and stuff, do some things this week. That was just, good quality time. Looking forward to tomorrow night. This is also personal, but it's for my son. They're playing in like 7v7 football,
Oh, sick.
and they're all in middle school. And they're playing in high school division. And they went 2-0 last week,
High
so
school
they're going to be
division,
playing a little
oh.
bit better teams
Oh,
this
wow.
week. I'm looking forward to see how that goes for them. Might be good, might be really bad. I don't know. And then since my back is hurting, since everybody wants to keep knowing, are going to keep telling everybody that, I'm working on finding out what the hell I'm doing to myself to keep repeating this cycle every now and then to make sure I don't, lose this flexibility issues or something like that I keep this pain from going away here. So
Nice.
it's probably too much stress and tension.
You're holding a lot on your back.
Oh, so good for this past week. I don't know. I think we got some clarity on some businesses. decisions that were needed to be made with some of the partners. So that was a good thing. And then what I'm currently working on, or
What are you looking forward to?
What am I looking forward to?
Yeah. And then what after that? What aim?
Looking forward to, I got a business retreat at the end of March, and then right after that, I go right into a leadership conference in Hawaii to meet with other folks around the globe with the Entrepreneurs Organization. So I'm looking forward to that. And then the last one is what I'm working on.
Yeah.
You know, hopefully out of those conventions or that leadership conference, I'll get some clarity as far as, you know, what I want to do with the other businesses outside of the Chicho's organization.
All right. Cool.
So that's what I'm looking forward to.
All right.
Or working on.
All right. And then before I go into it, I think one little curveball I want to throw, since you guys are all fathers, what would you tell, I guess, your sons one piece of advice? If this was their last piece of advice, what would you tell them?
The last piece? Oof.
That's tough.
And I could
prepare for that
And then I'll say my 3 before. That's why I wanted to.
Yeah, shit.
That's why I wanted to. I'll go through my 3. But one moment of goodness from the week. My team, I think I've been really building. I also gained a lot of clarity and breakthroughs with the digital business I've been trying to develop in, I guess, video business, and I don't really know what to call it. I guess production company. So that's been really a good thing from this week. And then one thing I'm looking forward to, I'm going to Italy with my girlfriend and 2 friends next month for Easter. So that'll be really fun. And then one dream I'm working towards right now, writing a book. So before I turn 25, I'm going to have a book out because I've been writing a lot since, I guess, November online. So that's been really, really cool, engaging with people online, I guess, through X every day and other platforms. But yeah, and then I'll let you guys try and catch this curveball.
I got a sidebar for you after the fact on ways to write a book through YouTube.
Yeah.
You probably already know it, but I like to talk to you about it. It's kind of cool.
I love that. I love that. So down.
I'm going to go
that.
first because I got to stand up after this. I thought about it while you were just talking.
Yeah.
And it's probably just more from me, what I would tell my son. I overthink everything, so I live in the past and I live in the future. It would be just be present. Be present in who's in your life at that moment and what you're doing, because I think sometimes I miss those moments thinking about what already happened or what's going to happen. So be present. I wish I could do that a little bit better. I'm not very good at it. So without getting too emotional, that's easy enough.
Yeah.
Nice.
He could definitely hit the
Picture back.
definitely hit the the emotions on it for sure. But the biggest thing I'd tell my son Tyler is work really hard. Don't give up. You get what you put in. If you put in the effort, you will see the benefit. It's very important. Additionally, I think that it's easy to be lazy, but it's even harder to not be lazy. You know, I say that if you set yourself up and you work really hard for 20, 30, 40 years, yeah, sure, you can have a great retirement, but guess what? You can't take it with you. Enjoy the life that you're in. Be present, like you said, but enjoy the life that you're in, because if you don't go and take that vacation or go and the with Anthony Bourdain thing, get that cream sauce, right? If you don't do that just because you're trying to save an extra pound or 2, just hit the gym harder tomorrow, you know? So that's what I mean. It's you just work really hard, be consistent, and to cap it all off, mindset is everything. Mindset is literally everything. It's crazy how much your body and you can do if you train your mind, that you can do it. I pull it back all the time, and I talk to them all the time, because we are living in a big military town with the Navy SEALs, and there's not too many Rangers here, but with the Army, the Special Forces. I said, do you think that those Special Forces guys go into this scenario that they're going to fail? No, they go in there. They said, we're going to go in here and execute. Here's the plan. This is what we're going to do. ... If we have a version or something that happens, then we divert to this. Clearly, that's what you do, right? Just
Mission-
mindset is everything.
mission.
Their mindset is trained to always adapt and overcome. So that's probably the biggest advice I'd give my son. I know it's a lot, but
Yeah. Awesome. That's beautiful.
I don't know if I can sum it up in one word or I'm in agreement with Creagan on mindset. Mindset with emotional regulation. I mean, the advice. I mean, I would say just
It's a little harder with you.
develop
with
one
me
with you because I would say develop the characteristics of, having that work ethic, having the patience, being accountable, and living below your means.
it's important.
That's
Yeah,
important.
that's as simple as you can. I mean, I know you've been hammering it, so that's all. That's okay, because these are the lessons I always take in every time we talk. Me and my dad, because we always are talking all these things, so it's hard to try and summarize it into one point.
Yeah.
But we can close it out. I know Ed's. I think I'll give him his word is back pain, even though that's 2 words. But we like to do like a 1-word close to like close out the episode, and I'll let my dad start to be an example.
I mean, right now my mind feels busy.
Busy.
Got a lot of stuff going on.
All right.
Yeah, I say finish.
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 Okay.
Right on.
And then for me, I think it's patience. Patience.
All right.
So thank you guys for tuning in to another episode. Really appreciate you. Love and appreciate you all. Oh, we'll get Ed. I want to hear his 1-word close before we end it.
Relief.
Relief.
I'm looking forward to getting some relief.
All right, yeah.
I already
That's
have
a
that one ready to go.
Good finish.
There you
Good finish. All right. Thank you guys. Love you guys.
All right,
See you at the
Creagan.
next
Thanks for showing
episode.
up, man.
Thanks, guys.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Sir.